All right, well, I am out at the graveyard near my house this afternoon. It's a beautiful sunny day, as you can see. I do like to come here as frequently as possible. Now, it's the beginning of February, so it's not that warm. It's about 45 degrees today. But I thought I'd get out and just get some fresh air and walk around here. It's a beautiful big cemetery with a lot of beautiful trees, a lot of evergreens, and but also a lot of deciduous trees that bloom in the spring. It's very beautiful. So let's go check it out. Right. So this is the graveyard. A lot of dirt roads, as you can see. A lot of different ways to go. If I were to walk around this entire piece of property here, it'd probably be about 2.5 to 3 miles walk. In the summertime, I come here quite frequently to walk. I try to walk daily here. And this cemetery, this graveyard, is only about half a mile from our house, so it's convenient to get here. A lot of times I just drive here and then go for a walk. It's nice to get outside. It's nice to have some sunshine. And even though it's 45 degrees, it feels good. So you can see how beautiful it is here, and it's even more beautiful in the spring and summer, especially when all the trees start to bloom again and show their leaves. Very beautiful area, and I love some of these big evergreens. A lot of different variety of trees, all different types of pines. Here's a nice cedar tree here. Beautiful cedar tree. Looks awesome. So anyway, I like to just walk here on a semi-regular basis as often as I can. It just clears my mind and I can think more freely. A lot of times when I'm walking, I just record my voice on my Day One app, which is kind of a journal app. You can write in it, you can put photos in it, and you can put audio recordings and videos in it as well. I've made an entry in that Day One app on my phone every day for the last 615 days. And a lot of times I'm just kind of rambling on and I just get thoughts out, which is what I do with these videos on YouTube now. A lot of times just get thoughts out, get them out of my head and verbalize them a little bit, which is a kind of a way of manifesting what you want and so forth. So just thought I'd go out for a walk this afternoon. It's about 4 o'clock or so. And as you can see, the sun is already starting to go down. I think it probably sets about 6 o'clock today, something like that. And yeah, that's about it. Let's wander around a little bit more. This is one of my favorite areas in the whole graveyard, and look at this big beautiful tree here. Just a nice windswept, I think it's a white pine if I'm not mistaken, I'm not quite sure, but it's just a very beautiful tree. This is an area that I call the Five Pines. It's a corner intersection. Beautiful pine trees right here that are so beautiful. It reminds me of a campground, and I've often thought about how awesome it might be to camp in this spot. Of course, if it wasn't a Cemetery, but you can see it's really beautiful area here. And it usually, when I come around this corner here and walk through this area, there's this beautiful fragrance of pine, like pine on the forest that's warmed in the summer. And it's just so awesome, so beautiful. Let's explore some more. So this is the Five Pines area. You can see these pines here. There's 4 of them here, and there's one over here, and that big windswept pine is right there. I love that tree. It's just so beautiful. Looks like something from that you might see on Lake Michigan, around Sleeping Bear Dunes area on Lake Michigan up in northern Michigan. One of my favorite places to go in the summer. I love to go there and camp, and so many beautiful trails and so many beaches, a lot of different types of beaches. Beaches that are kind of more unknown, and some very popular beaches. Now this area goes along this road, and you can see it goes right up to this road that's out off in the distance there. And then we'll kind of circle around back around here and all the way out there, and come back around to where my truck is parked, way off there in the distance. I'm not going to walk the whole circumference of the graveyard today. It is a little chilly out still. And I'm looking forward to coming back later on this week. It's Sunday right now, but later on this week it's going to be, I think we're going to have a couple of days highs in the mid-50s, 53, 54 degrees. It's supposed to be next week, Wednesday and Thursday. So I'll be looking forward to coming back and walking around. And I'll be looking forward to many more walks through here, especially in March and April and May, when the trees start to bloom again. There's a lot of flowering trees here. Here's another nice pine tree right up here. Another kind of windswept pine, really nice. And relatively quiet, although it is a popular spot for people to walk in the summer particularly, but there's a lot of people walking out here today because it's sunny and relatively warm. So again, that's about it. I'm just going to wander around and get back to the truck and get back home, have some dinner, and get to sleep. I do have to get up really early tomorrow to teach a yoga class at 6:30 a.m. in downtown Detroit. So I'd like to get to bed relatively early. All right, see you later. Bye-bye. So we're coming around this turn here, and then we go off this way. So we're heading south now. Now this road right here is a road called Rochester Road, and the other side of Rochester Road is an old part of the cemetery. It's like a big pie shaped, and there are old, very old gravestones, very old burial sites in that section. But there are a lot in this area as well. A lot of people that were born in the 1800s, died in the early 1900s, mid 1900s, and so forth. So when I walk around through this graveyard, oftentimes I'm thinking about what the people around here that have passed away and were buried here, what their lives must have been like. Sometimes I just look at the gravestones and look at their names and look at when they were born. Some of these people that are buried here were born in the late 1800s. So if you can imagine that, they were probably really getting to be young adults in the late 1800s or early 1900s. Just imagine today if you were 20, 30 years old and you were living in 1900, what it must have been like. So I often wonder, you know, what these people's lives were like, what they did for a living and so forth. And here's another beautiful pine tree you can see here. Again, I'm not sure what type of pines these are. They look like kind of like white pines. And this is a different kind of pine here. I'm not sure. That might actually be a spruce tree of some sort. I'm not sure. I do have an app that will identify the trees and plants and flowers. So maybe in the spring, I'll work to identify some of these different variety of trees in the graveyard. I'm gonna start heading back to the truck, so I'm walking east now, going back towards where I'm parked, towards the back of the cemetery. And there's a back entrance or exit that's on the opposite end of the cemetery from the main entrance. Just to give you an idea of what this looks like, there's such a large amount of space here. Really beautiful. It, you know, is a little haven in the middle of the city. It's not totally quiet. There are planes going overhead periodically, and like I said, there are other people walking around a lot of the times. And there's a little bit of traffic in the background if you listen carefully, but it is really a haven where you can get away and think it's more quiet here, more peaceful. Sometimes people just come here and sit. My wife Abby and I, when we were in COVID times in 2020, in the spring and summer, it was so quiet. There was hardly anybody driving on the roads, and excuse me, there were hardly any planes driving, flying by in the sky. So we would just come here and sit and meditate. And it was so quiet, kind of eerily quiet for the city, for being in the middle of the city, in the suburbs, surrounded by all highly condensed, residential area. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this little first tour of the graveyard here. This place is called Oakview Cemetery, right in the heart of Royal Oak. And I'm sure I'll do a lot more videos. Maybe I'll even do some videos of learning about some of the trees here. There's also a lot of deer here. There's quite a deer population. Sometimes in a late summer evening, we might see 15, 20 deer running around here. And a lot of people do feed the deer. I know it's not proper, but a lot of people do leave food out for the deer. And it's kind of nice to see the deer. There's also, we've seen a couple of coyote out here. And we've seen a couple fox out here as well. So there is a nice variety of wildlife. We've seen some owls and some big hawks up in the trees and flying overhead. So it's a pretty cool place. Like I said, we come to this place frequently in the summer, just about every day in the summer when we can. Dinner and get to sleep early. Thanks for coming, everyone. See you next time.